Natoma's mother, who has lived in the U.S. for more than 25 years, was deported last week.
It happened while she was attending an appointment in the process of becoming a lawful permanent resident, also known as getting her green card.
ABC 10's Becca Habegger spoke to her from Mexico today.
Maria de Jesus Estrada Juarez was born in Mexico and came to the United States when she was 15. She attended high school in the U.S. and eventually became a recipient of DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. That's a U.S. policy that defers removal action against an individual for a certain period of time, with U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services noting that deferred action does not provide lawful status. Later, Estrada Juarez had her only child, Damaris Bello, who is now 22. The two lived together in Natomas.
We thought it'd be the time to do something, take the next step forward, pursue the American dream, and just do things correctly.
USCIS allows a U.S. citizen who is at least 21 years old to sponsor an immediate family member for lawful permanent resident status. So once Bello, a citizen, turned 21 last year, the mother-daughter pair started that process. They say she was granted a green card interview on February 18th of this year at the John Moss Federal Building in downtown Sacramento.
Did her hair, did her makeup.
Estrada Juarez, a regional manager for a major motel chain, brought a binder of documents from tax and employment records to proof of vaccinations. Joined by her daughter, the pair thought they were entering a routine appointment, and the interview went well, they say, but then a federal agent approached them.
They asked for Maria Estrada. I said, yes, that's me. And she tells me, stand up, turn around, put your hands behind your back. You're being deported because you have an immediate deportation.
It seemed like we walked in and she never had a chance. It felt like we just walked into a trap.
Estrada Juarez says federal agents with no identification or marked uniforms cuffed her feet and hands.
Like I was the most wanted criminal in the whole United States. I never felt so humiliated.
Agents cited a removal order from 1998 when Estrada Juarez was a 15-year-old crossing the border. She says during her first attempt at crossing, a federal agent detained and questioned her, then let her go. She successfully crossed the border days later. She says never in her process of applying for and receiving DACA status or renewing it several times has she heard about any kind of removal order. She says the federal government even granted her parole in 2014 to visit a sick family member in Mexico. Plus, she says,
I have no criminal record whatsoever.
When her attorney arrived at the federal building and requested documentation, Estrada Juarez says she was denied. Within less than 24 hours of arriving for her interview, Estrada Juarez says without any kind of hearing, she was deported to Mexico.
It was so scary because it felt like they were kidnapping my mom.
I spoke with the two from Mexico. Bello came to stay with her mom this past weekend at a family member's house as they figure out their next legal steps.
I think it's a troubling case, but indicative of the kind of approaches the Trump administration has taken with respect to immigrants.
Kevin Johnson is a law professor at UC Davis School of Law.
The Supreme Court's made it clear that, generally speaking, a non-citizen has a right to due process before they're removed from the country.
He says what happened to Estrada Juarez raises serious legal questions, the very kind an immigration judge should weigh before any kind of deportation action.
She would have a right to that hearing because she's already been found eligible and assigned relief to remain in the country lawfully under the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals policy.
The Department of Homeland Security defends its actions, telling ABC 10 in a statement Estrada Juarez received full due process and was previously issued a final order of removal from a judge in 1998 and was removed from the United States shortly after. She illegally re-entered the U.S., a felony, saying that final order of removal was reinstated when she was arrested last week. ABC 10 asked for documentation of the 1998 removal order and why, as Estrada Juarez says, she was never made aware of it. DHS did not answer those questions. Now the pair is looking for an immigration attorney.
I don't know what I'm going to do if I go back to my family. It's going to be really hard for me.
In Sacramento, Becca Habegger, ABC 10.
At 10:45 tomorrow morning, local lawmakers plan to hold a news conference at the federal building in downtown Sacramento. They're demanding this Natoma's mother be returned home. So stay with us for updates.